I don't know, whatever. Hang on, folks, we're just getting stuff situated here. A little wind block on. Alright, I think that will do. Camera angles look good. Alright. Hey, folks, welcome back in. Welcome back to MBP Fishing. Yes, sir. Thanks for coming back in. Yep, welcome back. Yep, this is our channel, folks. Yep, this is our channel. As you guys can see, we're back down here on the Mississippi River, down by the Arch in St. Louis. Yep, we took a little break yesterday. Got to go up the Missouri River for a buddy of mine. Got a ride. But I ain't making that trip on my scooter. Yep, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna need a little upgrade of a scooter before I make that run. Haven't got a cast out here. Let's tell you what. Let's get the close rod in here first, and middle rod, and get that jig head crawler down here. We let's see. Temperature is about 78, 80 degrees, going up to about 85. We do have some potential rain around today, but it's springtime. That's pretty common, so got the raincoat with us. It'll be heavy but spotty, so hopefully we'll avoid that. Got about 80 red worms and white worms. Got some neon night crawlers. Gonna be seeing what's going on today. Got let these guys settle. I did a little bit of a different camera angle. I put you guys up a little higher. I don't know. We'll see how the angle is before I lock in on it. Down. I'm gonna lock in on that. I don't know yet. We're working on it. We're just getting started. These are our first casts. So I haven't even got the backup cell phone up yet. Well, I've got her booted up and everything. I just gotta get her on. That way you guys don't have to wait too long through the chat. Yeah, as usual, when I get down here, there's a couple people down here fishing, but they gave up the moment I started fishing. I don't know why. I think I smell funny or something. Not like anyone cares seeing my live feed where they're not someone's on out here fishing. I try not to think about it all that much, but see, our last trip down to Columbia Bottoms, we got a whole bunch of big freshwater drum, a couple channel catfish, a couple sturgeon. The only game fish we got were those sturgeon and the channel cat. Everything else was those drum. So if you get any fruit cats or anything, that one kind of surprised me. There seemed to be some in the shallows, but that place can be a little funny. Like, oh, you little stinker, man, he was popping it. Gee. That little sucker was hitting hard. Tell you what, I might hold off on the third rod here for a little bit until I can get you guys' chat and everything ready to go. Once everything stabilizes, I think I'll get that third rod out. But for now, I don't think I can accommodate 3 rods. Not to be able to keep up with it until I pull it up everything. I just kind of set up a rock face. I saw this angle here to where we had a back turn here. Carp turns this way, so I figured this would be the perfect place to set up. As far as fishing now, the angle of the camera, we're on kind of like a rock face here, so I'm having a little trouble. I can put that down further to the water, but it's going to be not going to be really good there. All right, let me go get the backup cell phone here. Let's get to you guys' chats. Hope you guys are. You guys' weekend went okay. I hope your Monday is going great. Yeah, we might hold off on the second rod here for just a minute until I get you guys stabilized. Going on to YouTube. There we are, folks. Here we are, my friends. We're back in. See, Mahad's first in. How you doing, Mahad? Mahad says hi. How you doing, Mahad? Let's see, Spawn, what's going on? How you doing, Spawn? Hey, our resident geezer down here. Hi, buddies. Yep, them guys follow me everywhere I go down here. Don't ask me. Let's see, Spawn says hello, Grip. Hello from Hungary. Awesome, my friend. Let's see, Miss Jiggy, what's going on? How you doing, Miss Jiggy? Oh, yeah, we bumped up way up in chat there. I don't know why we did that. That was weird. Let's see, California actually was in first then. How you doing, California? California says, get him. Get him in the lip. We're going to give it a shot, my friend. See, Danny, thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. By the way, PayPal, Cash App's linked in my description on my main channel. Also, Chime is also linked. If you guys want to donate, help support the channel, you can. If you do, if you don't, it's okay. It's a, that is a, and you can do that if you want. Pretty good pop on worm out there. See, Melvin, what's going on? How you doing, Melvin? Melvin says good luck. How you doing today, Danny? See, Miss Jiggy says Mike in chat. See, Nicole, what's going on? How you doing, Nicole? Nicole says hello, everyone. Miss Jiggy says Cole. Care Bear, what's going on? Care Bear says hi. How you doing today, Care Bear? Let's see, Coffee Cake, what's going on? How you doing, Coffee Cake? Got him. That little stinker. Boy, that was popping on it real weird. First fish of the day. Nice, solid freshwater drum. Come here, buddy. That's a healthy one, too. That's a solid pound. Yeah, our first fish of the day, folks. Didn't take us long. Yeah, I saw a little stinker popping, pop. He ain't happy. Jeez, dude, give it a break. I just want to show you off the YouTube. He's back in the water, dude. Criminy. Look at the silvers on that guy. Yeah, it's pretty humid out here right now, folks. We got storms around, so got the sweatshirt off already, getting my arms all sunned up and baked. Yeah, that's a solid pounder. Gorgeous fish, first of the day. Now, I hope our camera angles are good. This looks like about right here. All right, buddy. Let's get that hook out of you and back in the water. Push right down on that. I had the wrong angle. Oh man, that's in there good. What I might have to give him that hook. I'll jiggle this, but I think that one might be keeping that hook. Yep, I think that one's keeping it. All right, buddy. See ya. Yeah, we're just gonna give him that hook. We'll tie a new one on here real quick. Oh, let's see, where's my tackle box? Here it is. It'll take us a second. Thanks to Jason, we have some new hooks now. We can, yeah, we can. One swallows it like that, we can switch up hooks pretty easy. this hook back on here. I'll get this rod back out, and I'll check that chat, okay? Yeah, that one had a little deep, I'm afraid. I pushed that back on it a couple times, and it's just in the wrong angle. Even with those barbs pinched, I'd have hurt that fish getting that hook out. So I'm better off letting him have it. That way you don't kill him. He's going to have a little sore throat for a week or two, but should be able to eat right around that hook. And he might spit it out himself because those barbs are pinched down pretty good. Alright, put it back on. Yeah, that was me bumping that rod up. And we're just getting started, getting the creeks out of the system, getting the bugs out here. I know I'm getting backed up in chat. I'm so sorry, folks. As you guys can see, we're back down here on the Mississippi River. Temperature is definitely in the 80s. They said it might push 90 degrees today. 88, 89. That's pretty warm, especially with the humidity as high as it is. All right, that's back. Right over to the right. Let's see if I can get that back. Nope. That's pretty close. It needs to be closer, but close enough. I'd recast that if I wasn't trying to get into chat right now. Yeah, I'm sure I can get these rods situated better here so you guys can see them better here, but working on that right now. Care Bear says California. Danny, thank you for that that link. Danny says hi. Probably says Care Bear. Mahad says hi. See Spawn, what's going on? How you doing? See Mahad with the I got you, my friend. Hope you feel better, buddy. Let's see California, what's going on? How you doing, California? California says hi. Coffee Cake says Miss Jiggy. And Jason, what's going on? How you doing, Jason? Jason says Mike brother. Get all this right off here. That's a lot of stuff up on the screen. No wonder it's slowing down. Doing okay, buddy. A little warm out here, but we're making do. There's another bite. And these guys are out here right now. Oh, what's his face? What's going on? How you doing, my friend? Oh, what's his face? Says woo. Miss Gigi says Jason. Jason says hi, Miss Gigi. See, Squicky Family Outdoors. What's going on? How you doing, my friend? By the way, Danny, if you want to give out some wrenches to some people that are regulars coming in, you feel free, my friend. Let's see, Squicky says, always awesome. He says, nice. Let's see, Squicky with the explosion emoji. Squeaky says, nice. I appreciate that, my friends. Let's see, Randy, what's going on? How you doing, Randy? Randy says, hello, Mike. Hello, Mike. That's awesome. There's a bite out there, D. There's a bite out there deeper. He says, very nice. Let's see, Chris, what's going on? How you doing, Chris? Chris says hi. How you doing, Chris? He says, absolutely awesome. Let's see, Randy says, beautiful fish. Let's see, Chris says, Melvin. Let's see, he says, Melvin, Chris. Chris says, Miss Jiggy. Let's see, Les, what's going on? How you doing, Les? Appreciate you coming in, my friend. Miss Jiggy says, Les. Let's see, Randy, what's going on? How you doing, Randy? Randy says, Mike, brother. You guys are having an awesome, awesome day. See, Randy says, let's go, let's, brother. Stevie says, Randy. Bruce says, be safe, Jason. Let's see, Randy says, hello. Hello, Randy. Let's see, Danny, what's going on? How you doing, Danny? Danny MVP. Let's see, let's just roll. Road wrong fisherman. Danny says, hi, Chris. See, Randy says, Danny, row around. See, Danny says, hi, Andy, Andy Bend. Name. See, Chris says, Randy. See, Randy says, hello, MVP. Yeah, these rods need refreshing right now. Stevie says, Danny. See, Ahmad. Ahmad with the fish emoji. And see, Danny says, give it a few wrenches. Make Nicole not wrenched. I don't know why she wasn't either. Let's see, Dave, what's going on? Also, yep, Squicky. I don't know why he wasn't wrenched, but it can happen. Thanks, Danny. Randy says, Dave, brother. You can see 66 people in and 24 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, Randy says, Dave, brother, been a minute. Right, these rods need refreshing. I've had to buy some. Like messing with that one out there. Might put a little neon on this one. Check to see if one needs neon. About this little heavier weight, he's holding out there perfect. Now that's a 3/8. That's not exactly a half ounce either. That's not quite a half ounce. A little lighter than what I usually use out there for that deep water. But at the same time, the current's not really ripping right now. It doesn't appear. It's rather slow today. Slower than normal. You guys know how this current will rip sometimes. Yeah, I didn't think this one was far enough out for the cast. The second cast. We're getting like right at that edge of that current. Right there. Yep. That's where it was. And I can do that if my 8 or 9 inch places up and down that spot. That's just the closest location. You guys don't really notice that about me, is that I'll continue to work my rods. It may seem like I'm setting in one spot, but from here to here to here to here, that's like 4 or 5 different locations down here. Yep, again, we got about 8 or 10 mile per hour winds. I got the wind block over you guys. Hopefully that's keeping you guys from getting blown away too much. I think it's time to get our curl rod out here. Yeah, this will be just our little jig head crawler tech. This is going to be a little interesting one here. We're just going to take a night crawler. This is going to be textbook jig head crawler technique this time. What you do is you just take that, turn that head right up, pull that right up the top, little itty bitty worms. Quite a bit more humid down here today than the other day. Once we were at Columbia Bottoms up there on the Missouri River, I've got a lot of cliff faces and stuff, so it should stay a little cooler than down here. Alright, I think that's ready to go. This is just going to be cast like down current a little bit. That's going to drift in quite a bit. Hopefully get in front of a big old flathead. Those flathead catchers are going to be coming into the shallows in here in these rocks, kind of chasing anything that get into their mouths, or potentially get in their mouth. I'm just trying to set up a little spot here where I can keep my bait shaded. That's not even going to work. I'll get out there. Throat's feeling a little bit better right. Yeah, where's that tree? Doesn't seem to be as much garbage floating by anymore either. And these worms are going to roast out here in the heat. That's what's left what we had from our last trip down to Columbia Bottoms. James, what's going on? How you doing, James? James says hi. See, Jenny says, Dave, I will give you a wrench for now. See, Ranyo, what's going on? How you doing, Ranyo? Ranyo says hello, everyone. See, Jenny says, hi, Ranyo. Ranyo says, well, thank you. You're very welcome. And I do appreciate everyone coming in and visiting today. Got him. Got him, folks. Fish on. Last fighter. What we got this time? Another nice drum. That's a little bigger than our last one. I'll probably go about 2. Second of the day, folks. Number 2. Another nice freshwater drum. Gorgeous fish, guys. Gotta love doing this, folks. Gotta love it. Give it a break. Give it a break. Give it a break. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Gotta keep an eye on my other rods while I do this, because you know, you guys remember, they like to pull your rods in when you're not looking. They do too. Alright, let me get this out of you, buddy. Hopefully you ain't got it. Hopefully there's a bite in that one. Man, that's darn you double it. Got him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's pretty big. That's twisting. I don't think I got a drum on this one. And if I do, that's a big one. Oh. Yeah, that's twisting its head. I think I know what I got. Like, snapping its head to the left. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to set in the water here for a minute. Yep, grass carp. Ah, boy. Yikes, that's a big guy. Tell you what, I'll give you the hook, buddy. Yeah, this is on my little 6-pound test. See you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, this is on my little 6-pound test. You hit right by the bank. Oh, this is going to be fun. I better switch her to back reel right now. This fish is gonna run. Oh yeah, this is 6 pound test. That's about an 8 or 10 pound grass carp. Oh, buddy, whoa, whoa. And the bait was gone off that little rod. Yeah, that was just on the jig head crawler technique. Oh yeah, that's 8 or 10. Colonel Flint is out, folks. I am going to attempt this with these suckers in. Yeah, this is just 6 pound test. Ooh, this is going to be fun. There's only one spot I have a chance of getting this fish in. This is this little point. Boy, he's going to miss this fish up. Come on, buddy, give it a break. Give it a break, buddy. This is going to hurt. Come on. Come on, big guy. Cheap little Ozark trails. This will probably put it out to fishing for the rest. For the rest of the time. Yeah, that's an 8 or 10. Yeah, that's a 10. Check that sucker run, folks. I hope you guys are enjoying the show today. These guys are brutes. Now, that's a river monster for sure. I've got no sandbars, no black wedges, no nothing to work with down here. I've just got to tackle this sucker on the rocks and hopefully she'll set still long enough for me to get her in a bear hole. Come here, big guy. Come on. Oh, there's some wind. I didn't even pull on her. Had to be on my light line. We got that up to the bank. We touched that sucker on 6 pound test. I'm going to count that one. That was a good tie. I mean, she broke right at the knot. The amount of pressure I put on that, really much more I could have done with that fish. If I'd have had that in a sandbar or something, I could have got that sucker up, but not down here the way these rocks and stuff are. Well, let's get these rods back out. I'll get my Colonel Klink lenses in and we'll get back to that chat. I had a grip on that fish at least once. If that would have been anything on that old 6 pound test on that Ozark Trails reel, I'd have landed her. What I'm gonna do. Kind of heartbreaking, but it happened. Yeah, that was a textbook jig head crawler technique. That was just the very tip of the of a night crawler through the head, and that was it. It happens. I don't even think I pulled on that hard. They must. They've got such force when they shake their heads. I mean, 6-pound test when she shakes her head. If you don't drop that rod a little bit, you're talking about 30, 25, 30 pounds worth of pressure on that line, and that line. That's okay, folks. To be honest, I'd much rather do that than have them tear them up on the rocks too badly. That's why I was kind of trying to get her into that cubby down there. I suppose I could have waded in and got her in. We're over 80 degrees, but if I got a big flat, that's why I thought for a second I had a big flathead on, the way that was doubling that slow. If that had been big flathead, I'd have got my hand in that fish's mouth and I wouldn't let go. I'm gonna count that fish. We had her up to the bank. We got her in a grip once. I didn't get to show her off to you guys, but yeah, it's just a quick release, folks. That's a very light jig head. I'm surprised the jig head didn't bend out, but. I still haven't changed that line from when I bought it. That was in January. Trying to hook on with the way your eyes are, man. It's frustrating. You can't really focus in on that hole. Seriously. You need to focus in, Michael. I don't want to change this leader. That's the second one. I had to give that fish the hook because I didn't have time to do that with the way that other fish was fighting. That fish would have hit any other rod, folks. We'd have had her. We'd have had her. Well, what you gonna do? It's just the way it works out from time to time. You guys enjoy the show. Sometimes you get them in, sometimes you don't. Somebody did it. It's out there deep here. I don't know what that is. It seems like freshwater drum in the shallows to the left. Deeper water over to the, freshwater to the right. The deeper water over to the left, which usually holds the drum, that's holding the grass carp. Ain't no sense. It's like they switched up today. It's popping on pretty good out there. Enough out there. Let's see what that is. That's a medium hook. That's not a small hook, so let's see what that's gonna be. Sorry about keeping you guys off yak for a minute. Had a big one on. Had that up to the bank. Got her in a hold once, and the line broke. I didn't think I put that much pressure on that line for it to break like that, but it did. Come on, buddy, get it. Got him. Oh, ha, just snap too. Snap. Dang it. What the heck? I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong with that one. Maybe I had a groove in the line from something or other. I don't know. Yeah, that's where that line's frayed right there. What the heck? I don't know. That snapped way down there by below the weight. Crap. That was gonna have a hook and a leader in its mouth that time. That's just heartbreaking, folks. Danny. I don't know why I had that set like that. That is just frustrating, folks. Twice. That time I just barely got the hook into him and the line snapped. That rod wasn't even doubled over all the way. I mean, look at this. That rod can be doubled over like that. I just barely had her like that and she snapped. Frustrating, folks. This one's going to take forever to retie. Got two rods broke off now. You know, folks, I'm trying to get this stuff rigged up here again. Got my other box. What the heck is it? My green box. I don't even see it anywhere. Right now. I don't know why that broke like that, folks. That should have done that. That should not have done that. I'm trying to put this hook here. I'm sure the bait's going on that one already. I've been watching it. I've been looking through the bottom of the box here. That's the two weights I need. It's a big dang flip. That's what we'll have to do. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that line. Nothing wrong with that leader. I didn't get a chance. I mean, that line barely even pulled, and she snapped. That drag went, and that was it. It was done. It already broke. Hang on, folks. I'm trying here. That's why I do not like the leaders. I should be using my red wrapper technique down here right now. That way I can keep a knot. Instead of having 3 knots in your line, 3 ties, you only have 1 tie to your main hook. And that's leader, weight, out of the hook. That hit it real good. He was running up her with it. Could have been a nice striper or something. Could have hit that side of those gill rickers and just cut that line. It's possible. Could have been a piece of glass out there too when he ran. That's also possible. There's a lot of possibilities when that kind of stuff happens. That's stuff that you cannot prevent. All right, that's back. I see that one hitting on it. All those fish down there at Columbia Bottoms, the only ones I broke off, the ones I was trying to lift up a heavy bank. Down here, there's so much glass and rocks and crap and crud on the bottom. A lot of times you'll just break your line since you runs over something. I do like it when it's water's lower. I really do. It's all sand bottom then. You got to worry about all that stuff in the way. All right, that's back. Finally back in place. Spark break does that. Oh well. Going on in chat. 115 people in, incredible, my friends. Seeing 41 thumbs up, awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you. And I've got to do this. We're so far back in chat, I can't get back. He's running this, yeah, pretty fish. Let's see, Jenny with the fishy emoji. Let's see, Chris, yep. Chris says like, subscribe, and share. Yep, Jenny says tap, 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 tap. Ryan says, shoot river fish, bite hard. They do too. These guys can break you off in a heartbeat. I've kind of got the idea I must have ran over a piece of glass or something out there and just snap that line. It does happen down here. Still content here, Mike. Let's see, Gator, what's going on? How you doing, Gator? Gator says hi. Yep, definitely content. Sometimes you're gonna break them off. Just gotta let it go. Chris says 93 people and 30 likes. Awesome, folks. ZT. Zipnator, how you doing? Zipnator says hi. ZT says Colt, brother. Chris says Gator. He says Colt. Chris says bummer. Yeah, it does. It happens. Oh well. I broke 2 of them off there. It's heartbreaking, but it does happen. The only thing you can do is get back out fishing and get to some catching. Let's see Doda, what's going on? How you doing, oh Doda? Doda says MVP. Let's see Gator says Chris. Doda says Gator. Danny says Doda. Let's see Gator says Miss Giggy. Miss Giggy says Doda. Doda says Giggy. Let's see Gator says Doda. Yeah, I can only go back so far in chat. Let's see, Dan, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, I usually throw in a couple handfuls of corn. It does the same job down here. We've got some granaries upriver, and a lot of that corn grain and missed them. And soybean will wash down from those barges. When they wash down from those barges, fish will pick them up. Got a little less weight on here, so you don't want to hold out there now. Rust rating. I think that line on that secondary reel I've got, my third reel is just a little bit worn down. Probably gonna have to put some new stuff on there. Usually those Ozark Trail reels, they only last about 8 or 10 months. And that one's outlasted the line on it, which is rare. And usually the reel will wear out before the line will. That one was a good fight. I got her up to the bank, got a hand on her. She pulled off once, come run out again. I tried to reach down a second time, and she broke off right by the bank. That second one, I don't know why that snapped. It must have been something sharp I must have run over out there deep, because that line just, I barely got that reel to start that drag movement. Why was barely even pulled. Broke. For a second I thought she just pulled off, but then there was no weight on the line. The weight was gone. That's how light that broke. It happens. Or something popped off. Why did it do that? See Dave. See Chris says Doda. Doda says Ranyo. Let's see Hannah, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Hannah says hi, everyone. How you doing, Hannah? Let's see, we've caught 2 nice freshwater drum, and we've had 1 big grass carp river monster up to the bank over here. Had her grabbed a couple times. She finally got back and snapped that line. We had another one break off out there deep. I don't know what that one was. Let's see, Chris says Hannah. Let's see, Ranu says Doda. Let's see, Miss Giggy says Hannah. Let's see, Dennis says hi, Hannah. And Danny with the pink blue emojis. Miss Giggy with the pink blue emojis. Chris with the pink blue emojis. See Swamp, what's going on? How you doing, Swamp? Swamp says, hey, he's stopping to say hi. You've been well, MVP. I'm doing okay, my friend. Got him. Got him, folks. Well, I tell you what, it might just be these fish are big and tougher to my ear right now. And another nice, like, two. Yeah, about a 2.5 pound drum. Come here, buddy. Yeah, I go about 2.5 on that one. Yeah, I land these suckers. I'm missing the 20, 30 pounders right now. Oh well. Yeah, that's another nice one, folks. 2.5 pounds. Yeah, I'll go about 2.5 on that one. That's bigger than our last one. Yeah, even these guys are putting up a fight right now. Gotta love doing this, folks. I feel better now. I'd have felt better if I'd landed the first one. I wasn't too worried about that one. It's the one that snapped off out there deep that I didn't get a chance to fight that one. Come here, buddy. Quit it. Quit it, buddy. Quit it. And you guys just keep taking that. Those hooks deep, man. I knew I pinned that barb down right. Got her out, folks. See, no blood. Gorgeous fish. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Man, these stupid rocks. That's another thing, too. All these rocks have got jagged edges on them. Yeah. Look at that. Ain't that something? That stupid lump. It was underneath this rock right here, right? I lifted the rock up to get the hook out, and guess what happened? She just happened to nick that rock and slice that 10-pound test like it wasn't there. So, yep. Looks like we're tying on another hook again. Sheesh. Got him. That's out there deep. Yikes. What we got, folks? I feel like a big drum. If it's a drum, it's a big one. Yeah, I see shaking that head again. Hopefully I got this rigged up this time right. Whoa, buddy, whoa. A little less drag. Got her close. Well, that's a fighting sucker there. I ain't fighting like a grass carp. That's not sure what I got yet. So 3 big freshwater drum, and we haven't landed this fish yet. I haven't seen her yet. I feel so much better about these fish as long as I get to see them. Kind of felt like a commoner grass carp, a commoner buffalo, striper. What we got? Yeah, just massive drum. Yeah, that's why she. That's a big freshwater drum, folks. That ain't 8 or 10. That's just a big freshwater drum, folks. Yeah, that's what I tried to do with the grass carp, but he wouldn't let me do it. Try to get his head in here. Yeah, that's an 8 or 7 or 8. I'll go 8 on that one. Yeah. Another nice one, folks. Gorgeous. Yeah, that's not a 10. That's a river brute. It's not a river monster. Boy, that might be what... Because sometimes when you set the hook on these guys, they do have razor sharp sides, like white bass. So sometimes when you get these bigger ones, you'll hit the side of that body and you'll slice your line. It's probably what happened out there when I set that hook on that one. Yeah, that'll go 8. That's as big as my forearm, easy. That's a river brute for sure. Come on, big guy. Yeah, you got it down again too. Ow. Yeah, doing this is at your own risk because these suckers can crush your fingertips. Come on, big guy. Yeah, he hurt my finger already doing that. Man. I'm just gonna have to give it to him again. All right, buddy. Yeah. Thank you. Both rods back out again. Now I gotta tie hooks on both of them again. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. These guys are super active today. See, the reason why that one fish bothered me was because when I set the hook, she took off running. It was kind of worrying me it wasn't a grass carp, because when you set the hook on those grass carp, they like to thrash their heads a couple times, then come in, and then take off. But now I know there's some big old drum out there that big. It's possible that was just a big old drum, which makes me feel quite a bit better. You guys are enjoying the show today. I hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. I hope your weekend went great. And see, we've landed 4 big, 1, 2, 3. That's 5 freshwater drums so far. Plus, had a big old grass carp up to the bank here, had a hands on her. That counts as a catch. It's just, I would much rather have gotten to show her off for you guys. But it happens. It was a quick release. That was on my light gear. I don't know what that grass carp was doing, like 6 inches from the bank down here, but that's where he was. It's like, oh, I'll just put my little light gear one right by the bank down here and see if there might be, if I catch a 15, 20 pound flathead, I can still land them on 6-pound test. Now a 10, 15 pound grass carp, yeah, it's a little trickier when that line is pulled like that. There, that's one back out. Hang on, folks. Let me get back to this chat as quick as I can. I really do apologize. We're right in the middle of a run right now. I ended her where Danny's pink poo emojis were. Yeah, these hooks sometimes work too good. Bait holders. Feels pretty good.
I don't think that's going to slip. I don't think that's going to slide. That feels pretty good. That one rigged back up too. Like get it stuck out of my hand. And see that look today, I'm getting stuck on these red jagged rocks down here. I've seen what happens already. That's the reason why I probably lost that one out there deep, is because either I hit that side of that gill ricker there where it's super sharp, or I just hit a rock or a piece of glass or something that did the same thing. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you guys want to donate, PayPal, Cash App's linked in the description on my main channel. If you do, if you don't, that's fine. Help support the channel. Alright, that's back. Yeah, when you lose one, the only thing you do is get your rod rigged back up and get back out there. Only thing to do. I could have gotten frustrated and kept that anger, but yeah, better to get back out here and fish. Let's see, Danny says gator with woo. Let's see, swamp says gator. Swamp and gator, gator and swamp. Chris says swamp. Swamp says Chris. Let's see, Mr. What's going on? How you doing, my friend? Mr. Burntan. Mr. Burnt Arm. Mr. Burnt Arm says let's go. How you doing, my friend? Let's see, Danny says arm. Mr. says catching good ones today. Yep. Had one big one at the bank, broke off another, and caught 5 more today. Let's see, Swamp says, Miss G, good morning. Let's see, Daniel says, where are you streaming from? This is St. Louis, Missouri. We're down by the arch in St. Louis. This is the Mississippi River today. Let's see, Danny says, Swamp. Yep, Danny says Mississippi River, St. Louis. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate you keeping up with the chat like that. Let's see, 55 people in. Let's see, 52 thumbs up. Incredible. Let's see, Rod, what's going on? How you doing, Rod? Let's see, Miss E says hi, Rod. Let's see, Abdul, what's going on? How you doing, Abdul? Abdul says hi. Yep, Danny. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. Let's see, Rob says, Rob Fly Fishing says hi. How you doing today, Rob? Let's see, Werewolf, what's going on? How you doing, Werewolf? Werewolf says, hey, Mike, how are you? I'm doing okay. Phone bill's coming up, but we're making do with what we've got. I was a fish on there. I should have set that hook. Oh. Little stinker, he was sitting there with it again. They love doing that. I don't know. I saw that. Ah. Hard keeping up with chat today. That's the reason why we're backed up. We're getting so many bites. Let's see, Rob's. Let's see, Werewolf says, hey, Chris. Let's see, Werewolf says hi. Skitty says, Rob, Werewolf. Let's see. Barry, what's going on? How you doing today? Barry says, hi, sir. Hope you're catching many fish. Yeah, we're catching some good ones today. 5 We planted 5 freshwater drum and we broke off a grass carp right by the bank and had another one break off out there deep. Rob says, Chris, Werewolf says hi swamp. Rob says, all the lovely people it seems. See, Bravo says, is that a drum? Yep, that was a freshwater drum. They get to be about 20 pounds down here. See, Jenny says yes. See, how far from the estuary? Estuary, let's see, we're down in St. Louis. There's a, there's a lock and dam about maybe 15 miles upriver from here. And after that, this is all the way straight down to the Gulf of Mexico before you get a blockage. See, Ramp, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? See, Ram says hi. See, Werewolf says, you know what, donate. I got you, my friend. That does help support the channel, folks. Let's see, Hunting for Sturgeon, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Sturgeon says MVP. Danny with the fishy emoji. Chris says Werewolf. Hunting for Sturgeon says, hell yeah, I got good timing. Danny says hi. Hard pressed and not test. It's been a straight non-stop run so far, folks. Well, I'm packed up in the chat, folks. Let's see, Stelly, what's going on? How you doing, Stelly? He says hi, Stelly. See, Muskegee says Chris. Danny says I am MBPFishing. See, Sturgeon says I gotcha. He says under the cover. He says yes, Kiki, I am. See, Kent, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Kent says hi. Kent says hi again. Kent says good luck. See, Danny says, she is very happy, Chris. He says Chris. See, Kent says, come to Turkey for big fish. Hey, there's some big ones down here, my friend. We broke off one by the bank, 10 plus, and I don't know how big that one was out there deep. But see, Danny says, yes, those are light. 62 people in and 54 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Danny with the emojis. Let's see, Bambi, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Bambi says, hey. Let's see, Bambi says, you and some beautiful. I agree, Miss Giggy. He says, are you complaining, Danny? Name, never mind, love. Miss Giggy says, Chris laughing your butt off. All right, folks, I think we finally caught up with chat. Let's see what's going on with this one. We had a couple pops on our droppers, so let's see what's going on with this. We had a pretty good run there earlier, and I wish I'd have landed those 2 bigger ones. I really, really do. That one big one, at least I got up to the bank. That one didn't bother me all that much. I got my hands on her a couple times. I was trying to be gentle with her, trying not to bang her up in the rock too much. She popped that head against the rock, and that line snapped. Now that happens on occasion. Especially when you're using 6 and 8 pound tests down here. It's very easy for those guys to break that line. I'll put a red worm on this one. Put a couple small ones through red worm. It's still got bait on it. It looks pretty good, but it's probably lost a lot of flavor and scent. So look at that. Every time I get one, I buy one of those rocks. Look at that. I could cut my finger on that rock. That's how sharp it is. I haven't got my 3rd rod back out right now. I'm not even sure if I should try. don't know where my box is. This is a box down here. Dang. I do not know where that secondary box is. Maybe I left that down here. I don't know. Thought I put it in there. Could be scattered around here somewhere. I just don't see it. Oh, it might be down here on the bank. Down here. Yet my coffee's still stoking hot. That's how warm it is down here right now. I found it. I left it down there in the spot I was setting up. Finally. Yeah, that's the one we got the grass carp on. I've been out of shape with it since she hit. Now we're back with that finally. And this one was a pretty simple technique. This was textbook here. So this one was just a single night crawler, cut in half, hooked up the hook from the cut so that that back end moves more in the back. That also covers that hook that allows that to drift very naturally down the rock. You don't get snagged in it nearly as much as you would like a Carolina rig or a steel rig. And you just add like one more worm to that, give that a little bit more. Let's bite. Now let's bite. It's all bouncing. Right off the edge of my eye there. All three rods are back out again. Took me a minute to get those rods back out. That one yet. Pop. For that. See Terry, what's going on? How you doing, Terry? Terry says, just a quick hello, Mr. MBP. Gotta get busy here today. Thanks for dropping by, my friend. I really, really do appreciate it. See, Danny says, hi, Terry. Let's see. Bambi says hi, Terry. Miss Gigi says hi, Terry. See, Terry says Miss Bambi. Terry says Miss Gigi. Terry says Chris. Let's see. Bambi says such flap, 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 flap. Boy, I don't mess up my tongue here. Let's see. Danny with the googly eyes. Let's see. Bambi says, yeah, he's working. Jimmy says, or she actually could be. Let's see, Mike, what's going on? How you doing, Mike? Mike asked, where are we fishing? We're fishing on the Mississippi River, my friend. We're about a quarter of a mile upriver from the Arch in St. Louis. And our angles are sucky, aren't they? This is the first time I've gotten to check our angles and feed and everything. We're off. Sheesh. That should be better now. Yeah, we were off angle there. Let me refresh this real quick. Sure. Yeah, that looks better now. Miss Key says, you never asked, Bambi. Man. Oh, dang it, that was popping it. I was out there deep, too. Crap. Lights and all the rods again. Every time you get around one of them rocks, you gotta grab on it. No way to prevent. Seriously. Oh man. Sheesh. I lost my Colonel Quink lens. Man, that fish took off. Yeah, we got another one, folks. Let's see what do we got now. Man, that fish just, what do we got now? Yep, another grass carp. That's not nearly as big as the last one, but man. Yeah, my Colonel Quink lenses went flying, folks. I don't know if I'm ever going to find them. They're down in a rock somewhere down here, and I don't think I'm ever going to find them. Save the rod there at least. Sheesh. I lost one of my lenses, folks. Off my glasses. I don't think I brought any extras with me. That lens bounced there and then went somewhere else. Yeah, that's a 7 or 8 pounder. Ow. That's dive for that one. Here, big guy. Yeah, this is our light line again. He had her in, folks. That rod was going. That rod was on its way to Davy Jones's locker. Yep, did it again. That drag just stuck. Now I gotta try to see if I can find my lens down here. I don't think I'm gonna find that, I'm afraid. That probably floated away by now. Yep. probably hit the water here and went down somewhere, and I'm never gonna find it. And the water's ice cold. I got lucky. Yeah, I'm more off to finding that than losing that grass carp. Yeah, you can see I was kind of a little preoccupado memento with por favor with my glasses, because that went flying when I grabbed the back of that rod. Man, I tell you what, I'm getting bites on this reel, folks, but that line is just shot on that one, so I'm gonna have to change that line. Unfortunately, that means that one's out of commission, because I'm not gonna put that out there again and have it break off again. That one just barely that line just snapped like sewing thread. And like I said, my mind was on something else. I'm lucky that sucker floated halfway down there. My arm was all the way. See, my arm was all the way up to my shoulder. I'm surprised I even found it. What the heck did I do with it? Put it back in where it belongs. Put it back in here before we lose it again. And at least I'm getting to see those, and that line is just shot on that. I'm gonna have to change that line. I think she really got torn up down at Columbia Bottoms the other day. I think that's just shot. I can always put one rod over there eventually. Heavy line. That wasn't that big either. It was only like 7 or 8 pounds. More happy to find my lens so that I can keep reading chat. Yeah, that one went flying. It was like halfway out to the middle of the depths there. See, Bambi says, I think. Let's see, Jenny says, hi, Mike Maxon. Let's see, Mike, what's going on? Yep, Mike says, thank you. Mike says, nice. Yeah, we've landed 5 of those big freshwater drum on our other rods. Now that light one, she's just, I'm gonna have to change the line on her. Let's see, Bambi says, me, I'm from Florida, girl. Let's see, Jenny says, I'm from the Netherlands. Let's see, Bambi says, yep, so sunny. Yeah, it is beautiful out here today. We do have some light storms around. I don't think we're going to have much trouble with them today, but you never know. It's just spring. Spring in St. Louis can bring some pretty unusual weather. One minute you're fine, the next minute you're thunderstorming, the next minute you're fine again. Yeah, that line shot on that one. That's the second one I broke off on that one. That's unfortunate. Left your butt off. Let's see, Bambi with the prayers. Let's see, Bambi says blue. Says Mr. Terry. It says, depends on how high the water is, Bambi. Yeah, if the water's lower down here, I've got a nice sandbar. I can land these things much easier. But these rocks, I can't really get them in with my light gear, because whenever they get around these edges, they'll just hit those jagged rocks and just tear that line up. Not sure who that is. Let's see. FP. I have no idea how to say that, but hello. Let's see. Bambi says, got him. Yeah, I know. I think we're kind of shot for our secondary rod. I didn't think I'd be getting those big ones in there that close to the bank. Let's see, Chris says MO. Let's see, Bambi says, yes, hi, Mahad. Let's see, Ahmad, what's going on? How you doing, Ahmad? Ahmad says hi. Denny says hi, Ahmad. Denny says hi, Flaz. Let's see, Bambi says, yeah, welcome all. The 40 people wanted 61 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. NPR, hi. Thank you for that. Let's see, SWC Florida, what's going on? How you doing, Florida? Florida also says, MBP. Let's see, Bambi says hi. And he says, hi, SWC. Let's see, Richard, what's going on? How you doing, Richard? Richard says, get him. WC4 says, Edward. Seems like anything under about 8 or 10 pounds can land pretty easily today. We're having a little trouble with those bigger ones because they're right in the rocks today. Let's see, Grumpy Bass, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Grumpy says, how's your day going, brother? Okay, we've had 5 big freshwater drums, and we've also had 2 big grass carp up to the bank. Now, obviously, I think my my light here, I think the line has to change because I had both of those up to the bank, and while I was trying to get them turned, that line snapped extremely easily. Yeah, I think it's time to change that line on our lighter rod. So she's out of commission. I'm not going to break off a third one. Yeah, that happens down here when you're using light gear. You don't have a lot of money for to change your line. You want to keep her till you can't do anything else with it. That's where that line is. You can't do much more with that. My block piece fell down. Besides that, we're doing pretty good right now. Fortunately, that kind of gets you down with having that happen several times, but we're making do and we're keeping out here fishing. See, Ed, what's going on? How you doing, Ed? It's his Grumpy Bass brother. Grumpy Bass says Ed. PayPal, Cash App, or Chime. Either way, if you want to donate, those are linked in my description. See, he says, awesome group coming in, MVP. I do appreciate it, my friend. That's an optional thing that helps out the channel so much. Phone bills coming up, every little bit will help in the end. Danny says, also very nice people here, Chat Bambi, and very relaxed in chat. Bambi says, Sometimes you can feel good. You can feel the good vibes. See, and he says agreed. Muskegee says so true, Bambi. Let's see, 70 people in. Let's see, and 65 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you. Yeah, I think we're gonna get on these guys here again. I sure would like to have another rod over your shallow, but unfortunately that other rod is, yeah, that's not going to work with that line as weak as it is right now. Look at that one spot cleaned off. I thought I had a bite out there. They're tearing at that worm fast. Fast and hard out there. That's why if you get a bite or you don't get a bite out here after a few minutes, you're better off recasting, because a lot of times they'll get your bait off and you won't even know it. They're very good at doing it too. And I just like to have one clear bluebird windless day for once down here. Like yesterday it was like 30, 40 miles per hour wind the majority of the day. Today we're still getting about 8 or 10 miles per hour, but still, you think you get one day during the spring where the wind don't blow like a sucker fish. But I suppose, well, Mother Nature just wants to keep throwing me curveballs. Yeah, we can be moved a little bit, just that deer to be towards the water, not much. Any kind of stabilized here, just a hair. That should be fine. Yeah, I right in the middle of, you know, I like to turn the camera and get her going for you guys, but right in the middle of doing that, like chaos ensued down here early when we got down here. So let's see, Josh, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Josh says watching from Granite City. Awesome, my friend. That's right across the river. And some big ones down here right now. Some 5 big freshwater drum. Had 2 big grass carp up to the bank. Unfortunately, our lighter rod, that line needs to be changed. That 6-pound test is just, I can't get them in today. That line's just, it needs to be changed. I haven't changed it for about 6 months, so it's understandable. Let's see, Danny says, Chris, you've, let's see, Bambi says, yep, Illinois, awesome. It's right across the river, my friend. That's right on that. I saw that bouncing. I'm sure when I change that line, put some new 6-pound test on her, I'll be able to tackle those fruits a little better. But unfortunately, I think she's out of commission for the day, so we're going to be using 2 rods instead of 3. As the guy says, I'm probably very close. Buy from MVP. Yep. Just right across the river over there in Granite City. Come on. And we just about lost our last rod. I thought I'd try that, take a few feet of line off that reel, try to see if I can still use her. Unfortunately, it's not working. little snickers are pecking on it right now. Josh says, hello, D. See, Danny says, where you at, Joshua? You don't have to tell us. D already told us. Granite City, Illinois. Right across the river. Yep, on the other side. See, Yakin, what's going on? How you doing, Yakin? Yakin says Miss Kiki. Danny says Yakin. See, Miss Kiki says Derek. See, Bambi says, I love everyone around. Would be so neat talking. Whalehead, Josh, Chris, Yakin, hello. See, it says Yakin, brother. Josh says, I know where you're at. So familiar looking. Told you I'm pretty close. Yep, that's the last railroad track before you get to the bridge that goes over into Illinois. Right in front of the arch. See, Kay, what's going on? How you doing, Kay? He says that is so cool. See, Meadow, what's going on? Bye, Meadow. Bye, Meadow says hi. Good luck. Austin, my friend. Bye, Meadow says hi. Bye, Meadow says hi again. Gotcha says I'm near the pizza world. I think I know where you are. Gabby says hi, Meadow. See, Gabby says John. Gabby says Meadow. Miss Kiki says Meadow. Let's see, 20, 35 people still in it. Seeing 69 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not. Yeah, we were getting some peck bites out there. They're just being a little bit of a nuisance right now. After looking at you were breaking off. Never is good when you break off something. Looks okay. Muck on there. Get off there, you stupid piece of crap. Kind of a shame I lost those grass carp. Look at that, just about clean that. They're good at doing that stuff. They really are. Back. Okay. You have my rods down intentionally, folks, to try and make sure I can see those bites. Come on, Pop. Come on. The barge down the river, folks. Well, that's just a tugboat part. lot of that is traveling with the river, so that wouldn't make too bad of a wave. I better get I'm rambling, and he always gets bites when I have. I don't know. I might have spooked him when I those two and broke them off. That happens sometimes. Reed, what's going on? How you doing, Reed? The Reed says hi. And he's laughing his butt off. I don't know what's wrong with that. Oh, get an angle to do this. Hello. And he says 68 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Josh says, by Meadow will say that I'm on the other side of the river. I leave. They have these barrels, and there's a sand stretch that where people I've seen catch 60, 68 plus blue. Yeah, I've seen some big ones come down here during the night. I only get about 15, 20 pounds per day. I used to get them bigger years ago, but overpressuring has dropped the population quite a bit. These teenagers can go by the, and I know where your bonfire, I got you. Says, I really enjoy catching carp. Yep, there's some big carp down here, Meadow. 24 years ago. Yeah, I've been fishing down here for over 50 years, so 58. I believe I started fishing down here when I was about 5. See, Somra, what's going on? How you doing, Somra? Somra also says hi. How you doing, Somra? Yeah, they're always fishing at night out there. And he says, hit that like button. I like people when I do. I definitely like it peaceful too. That's one of the reasons why I love it down here. Very few people come down here. Every once in a while, you'll have an angler come down here, and it's either when the water's high, someone takes one rod and casts it way out in the middle of the river, and it winds up way down there by the bank anyways, or when the sand's out and we have a few partiers come out, but that's about it. He says, I'm a typical Missouri boy. Yep, give me a big old river any day of the week. I was down on the Missouri River our last live feed. I really think I spooked those suckers in those two. Yeah, that last one, that line just broke like sewing thread. I ain't put any pressure on it. Now these two rods are rarely ever break. It's just that other ultralight line. I was fishing right by the bank, figured I'd catch some smaller fish. And there's some big grass carp in there setting very close to the bank. So unfortunately, that is just not going to happen. I'm going to have to change that line. I can land 5 to 6 pound fish on that one pretty easy, but anything in the 8 to 10 pound class, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble with. So instead of losing any more hooks and weights on them, I'm just gonna put that rod to the side today and fish with the other rods. Hasn't been a total loss. Caught 5 big freshwater drum. Got those 2 grass carp up to the bank. I mean, I had them beat. That one had the rod over the rocks and was going in. Now, I banged up my arm diving for it a little bit. That's not too bad. That's just a little, yeah, it's a little crazy. Stings like chickens, but it's weird. Why are those grass carp holding right over here? I suppose they could be working in there towards that back there. Waiting for that water to warm up. Of course, they could be in here too, also gnawing on roots and stuff. They love eating like roots and grass and other stuff. Why they're not? Oh, they're not. That's another thing. I'm starting to get this crap on my line after this couple bars went by. Knocked up all that leaves, grass, at the bottom. Line crap. Okay. But I'm gonna get off my feet here for a moment. Go check, make sure the camera angles are good and everything. Make sure our battery stuff and everything's plugged in properly. Because all it takes is one bump with something. Knock the camera angles off. See where. Yep, charger's doing good. Danny says, Joshua, MVP is using, yep, I'm using very simple gear. That's just a 8-foot fluger. A 6-foot fluger on with 8-pound test. My bait caster, that's just a little Silver Max with 8-pound test on it.
And my other rod, that has 6-pound test on it. I usually use that for lighter stuff, even though I can get bigger stuff on it. It's just I haven't changed that line since January. I suppose I need to put some new stuff on it, I'm afraid. I guess I waited one too many trips. Go close rod, pop.
Good pop. You stinker. Good popping is good out there. Still have my drag set loose from that. Those birthday fish. I don't have a whole lot of money. I fish with really light stuff, really light gear. Then again, a lot of these fish won't hit heavier stuff. I mean, I've had people fishing right beside me with the same weight, but, you know, 20, 40-pound braid and not getting a bite. These grass carp, especially grass carp and common carp, they're extremely sensitive to weight, especially when they're in shallow water. That seemed to get a pretty good bite. Where was that? Over to the right. I think we'll do some takedowns. They seem to want me to get away from these rods right now. It does happen sometimes. They can actually sense the vibration of me talking over here sometimes. If I get away from that rod and talk over there, they'll hit the rods. If I sit on them, I mean, for the first hour or so, then they'll pulverize. But eventually, they start getting, you know, some food in their belly. So, like, do I want a lip piercing or not? I don't know. That MVP, he'll show you off, and then he'll throw you back in the water. But still, I ain't so hungry no more. I got some food in my belly. Yeah, Jason and I had a heck of a time yesterday down on the Missouri River. Yeah, we were right up at the Columbia bottoms. Yeah, all I had to do was see where the water level was up there, and I knew exactly where to fish. Yeah, I don't need expensive tackle to get down here and catch some monsters. A little patience, a little practice with your drags, and make sure your light gear, the line isn't, you know, old and needs to be changed. Which can happen. Yeah, my cheap rods, you know, is Arc Trails. It's a $10 combo. I've landed some river brutes on it already this year. Some monsters. So just waited one too many trips to change that line. Oh, you mean Orta, Steven? He was out fishing at Jefferson Lake yesterday. He did some bass fishing. He didn't have much time. Now Jefferson Lake is about 20 minutes closer to him, so it's closer to him than it is here. So when he doesn't have a lot of time, he'll go to Forest Park and fish. But getting the lines wet that's all that matters. Josh says, thank you for telling me, Mr. MVP. Now I can sub again. Awesome. Let's see. 34 people still in and 74 thumbs up. Incredible. And thank you, Danny, for dropping that link. Yeah, we've done some fishing around this winter together.
Some good trout fishing. We caught some catfish up at O'Fallon Park. Just when we get the chance. Let's see, George, what's going on? How you doing, George? George is everyone. Just tuned in again. How's everyone doing today? Let's see, got 5 big freshwater drum, had 2 big grass carp up to the bank, and on my lighter gear, these rocks, my light 6-pound test, needs to be changed. I got them right up to the bank, grabbed them once or twice, and that line just, yeah, it went. So I'm gonna have to change that line. Skinny says hi, George. Josh says, I got some flugers. Yep, those flugers are nice spinning combos. Now I switched out the rod because the rod didn't last down here. I dropped one rock on it and it went. But the reels are great. Haven't had any trouble with that one yet. Let's see, Denny with the #1 emojis. Let's see, Josh says, I'm usually using 50 to 60 pound braid with them 10 to 10. Oh, close rod. Got him. Uh-oh, that's taking his head. I think we got another one. Yeah, this is 8-pound test. Yeah, shaking his head. Yeah, they like to thrash their heads. Now, hopefully I get this brood in here for you guys. I ain't seen her yet, but I'm guessing that's what we got. Yeah, that braid is just not a good idea down on this river. No, just a massive drum. Yep, another 10+ drum. That's another big freshwater drum. Yeah, that's 8 or 10 easy. Rock in. Hey, guy. Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah, that's 10. I don't like the river taste of water, and this stuff don't taste so good, folks. Ugh. Why should the water taste salty? I'm not in brackish water. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, that's a 10. Yeah, that's a takedown, folks. When your rod's getting pulls and you're over behind the camera, that's called a takedown. Yeah, that's a fat one, too. That should only be about 8 pounds. But that's got about 1.5 pounds of weight in her belly. There you go, folks. Gorgeous fish. Yeah, she's been in shallow water bedding because she's got some parasites on her fins there. But those will come off. Those are shallow water. When she goes out in the deep water after she's done nesting, they'll come off of her. Gotta love doing this, folks. Absolutely. Gotta love it. Yeah, that's longer than my forearm. That's about 26 inches. So that's a river monster for sure. Anything over 10 pounds I consider to be a river monster. Oh, yeah. Come here, big guy. Yeah, these guys can. Yeah. Get one more good look at this fish before we let her go. All right, buddy. See ya. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it. Now you see how big those other fish were. If I can land that one so easily. Yeah, that's just on 8-pound test. So I've gotten like 50-pound flathead, 20, 30-pound blues down here on this 8-pound test. But that 6-pound test, it needs to be pretty fresh. If it starts getting old, you're asking for trouble. So that's our 6th of the day. We got 2 small ones in the beginning of the feed, and these ones after have been some brutes. Those guys fight. He fooled me. I felt that head thrashing. I thought I had another big grass carp. I got a lot more confidence on him with this 8-pound test with the Sluger. Now that 6-pound test, not so much, especially now I know that line is that bad. That was all. And that might be our first train, folks. Yep, it is. First train, earbuds out and volumes down. These suckers can get loud. I'll be getting those big grass carp over here to the left. Let's try this. Those big old grasses are hitting over here to the left. Let's try a little heavier line with these guys. I can always go back on that side too. About the same level of weight, maybe a little heavier. I was casting like right about there for the grass. Big barge up the river. Barges and trains down here, folks. Got some activity. I better make a path for my rods in case someone wants to pulverize it and I gotta get to it fast. Yeah, that's called a takedown if you guys are new to YouTube fishing live feeds. Let's see, 34 people and 78 thumbs up. That's just incredible, my friends. Let's see, where was I in chat here? Let's see, Pierre, what's going on? How you doing, Pierre? Pierre says hi. Yeah, now you got a blue wrench. You can subscribe to other people just by tapping their icon in chat. Go right to their nearest short feed. Leave a comment real quick. Come right back. That comment will stick, and people will go to your channel and they'll sub right up to you too as well. Get those 50 subs. Let's see you going live, my friend. Let's see. Josh says hello, Pierre. Let's see. Jenny says hi, Pierre. Pierre says hello. Pierre says Miss Giggy. Let's see. Josh says maybe I could take to my best friend Dave one day to go out there and go fishing one time. It's a good thing to do with some really nice fishing opportunities down here. Let's see, meet up with y'all. We could get some lunch at a spot.
Sounds good to me, my friend. If I'm down here, you're more than welcome to join us. I love fishing with friends down here. Let's see, Chris says hi here. Let's see, biggest drum I ever caught was about 8 pounds. Off the spillway at Carsville. Awesome, my friend. I've gotten them over 60 down here. But that was years ago. I usually don't get any over about 20 pounds now. Yeah, the one I got of over 60 pounds, that was up on Riverview. That was years and years and years ago. That was where Coldwater Creek runs out. Now, the water was real high. It was, coming in there. It was the middle of the winter. And that was pretty much the only spot that we could get. We could only get a few feet from the car without freezing down there. I just, sat out, got a fire going. And that was pretty much the only bite I got all day, if I can remember correctly. Let's see, Josh says, seen you land a nice big carp a few days ago. Awesome, my friend. I've had 2 big ones up to the bank today already. One grass carp over 10 and one about 8 pounds. Now that 8-pounder, I probably should have landed that one, but he tried to pull my rod in. One of my lenses in my glasses flew out, and I was more worried about losing that lens because it was in the water. It was floating away, so I kind of put a little bit too much pressure on her, and pop goes a weasel. Yeah, that went bye-bye. See, Lee, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Lee says, nice fish. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it. Let's see, Josh says, the trains will come by me in about 15 to 20 minutes. I know we're that close to each other, right? Let's see, Josh says, Dave is 70. I grew up with him as a kid. I believe I know who you're talking about. Let's see, Josh says, his wife I call Mom. Let's see, sounds sweet, though. Just going out, heal me enough, sounds fun. Stupid fighter. That's weird. Dropped it in our rocks after that fish hit. Odd. Crap. Oh, that's gonna be fun. What do I do with that thing? There's a rock or something down here. I don't want to stick my hand underneath a rock. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's a glass. Dang it. That's going to be a nuisance. I did that. Everything's set up here. There it is. Way over there by the right. What the heck is it doing all the way over there? Sheesh. Hope you guys are enjoying the show, my friends, and I hope you're having an awesome Monday. Hope your weekend went well. We're having some fun battling these brutes today, folks. We've gotten beat a couple times today, too. Which is kind of a rare thing for me getting down here, getting beat. But you know what? When your line starts getting old, it'll tell you. It'll definitely tell you need to replace your line. That looks pretty good, so let's check these rods again.
Stop, volume down. Those engines can be loud on those things. That's what happens when I get in with the Carolina rig as close to that jig head. I think that first stop. Those guys, they do lose their contact for a while. Opposed to our little garden variety worms, they'll stay good for about 20-30 minutes. The store ones, they're only good for about 5 or 10 minutes. And after that, they kind of lose their scent. That distance is further to the left. Not far out, but it's right. Oh, that was a fish on there. Dang it. I hate it when I lift that up and something pulls back. Might make it feel like something back. Same kind of feel when you pick up a soft plastic and there's bass on there. Get that thing. I'm always amazed at how many of these fish just grab the bait and just sit there with it. I mean, they'll sit there with it for 15-20 minutes. All right, let's get back to that chat. This should get easier, folks. We got some shade now. Let's see, Josh says his wife might call mom. Let's see. Josh says need to redo my line also. Yeah, it's not a good thing to leave it in your close rod. It's not a good thing to leave it in your closet or something for a while. Or, using it too much. Yeah. I've just got one rock in my spot here where I usually walk. Kind of messing up my runs there. Mine's in my basement. Probably have to buy new anyways.
Well, they've got some good combos at Walmart recently. Anything over about $20 is usually very good. Now, me, I'll use the $10 Ozark Trail stuff. Yeah, I'm a little crazy down here sometimes. Let's see, Edith, what's going on? How you doing, Edith? Edith says hi. How you doing, Edith? Let's see, 28 people in, 81 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to like, subscribe. Let's see, I got enough rods and stuff. Some might be too pricey for the river. Rocks are usually okay when you bring them down here on the river. Now, the sand is what you really worry about. Bait casters are very good to have down here. Bass fishing gear is extremely good. Now, your little micro spinning combos, yeah, those don't do so good down here. Let's see, Justice, hello, Edith, welcome. Josh says, I won't mess with the sand. I don't want to sink. It's the river mud that you got to worry about sinking in. When you get your rods in the sand down here, those little grains of sand tend to get in your gears, and they'll tear your gears up. So you basically, every time you pull, all right. Got it. Every time you come down here with one of your good reels, you got to take it apart and take the sand out of it. Come on, folks. Ooh, jumper. Who says drum don't jump? That's a nice freshwater drum. Yeah, we were getting some stripers down here earlier when the water was cold. But I'll take these like, that's about 2.5 pounds. That's about the average we've been getting all day. Right on that too, so I'm popping it. Got him. Doubles, folks. Another nice one out there. Hang on, buddy. Let me get you back in the water so you don't die. Back in the water, buddy. Stay there. Put a rock on you so you don't get my rod in. That's a much bigger one out there. Well, that's fighting weird. That's fighting real deep. I think we got a buffalo. I think we got a buffalo on this one, folks. Add some color to it. Oh, yep, buffalo. Yeah, we got a drum on this other rod already. Thanks, dude. Give it a break. Stay in the shallows. Yeah, he's got the line wrapped around him. Yeah, that's a 5 or 6 pound buffalo. I'm just trying to keep this one from pulling my other rod in while I try to land this one. Oh yeah, that'll go about 6 or 7 pounds each. That's a hardtack buffalo. This isn't actually a good eater. These are the ones that don't get quite as big.
These are the ones that like to fight and run around in circles and stuff. I'm pretty good at landing these guys. Yeah, I got you, buddy. I got you. You got him, folks. Yeah, I've never tried to show off a buffalo and a drum at the same time. This should be entertaining. All right, this is our first one, folks. Yeah, that's the star of this one. That's about, yeah, they go about 6 or 7 pounds. Gorgeous fishing. Beautiful. Really untouched. These guys are the cows in the Mississippi River. Beautiful. Check out those greens and blues and yeah, this is a hard tack buffalo. So if you wanted to keep them, this is not the one you want to keep. Soft tack's the ones you want to keep. The lighter color ones. These only get to be about 15, 20 pounds. Now the other ones get to be about 50 or 60. So look at that dark black tail. She's in here nesting. That top dorsal fin. That tiny, tiny little mouth size of your pinky finger. Yeah, we're using number 10 hooks too. It's another reason why we have some of them pop out sometimes, because these guys have got such small mouths. If I don't put a little hook on, I'll miss half of them. Right? He's like, you got me. Put me back in the water. Buddy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now we can get to our drum. Yeah, we had doubles on that time. Yeah, this is about a 2.25 pound freshwater drum too. Oh, here, buddy. Yeah, there we go. So that's 5, 6, 7 of these freshwater drum. We've had 2 big grass carp up to the bank, and we've landed a nice, like, 7-pound buffalo. These guys have been getting my hook all day. Oh, yeah, that one's good. That one had a good hooking job. Woohoo, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. For that, I'm going to show you off to YouTube real quick. Get you in close here for you guys. He's talking to you, too. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Surprising what you can get in with, like, really light gear, isn't it? Ain't it, folks? Yeah, that was just because our other rod, that other rod needs to be, that stuff needs to be changed. It happens on occasion. You don't think that line, like, I can make it one more trip with that line. Nah. Should have changed it. I was at home, and I thought about it when I was at home too. I should have changed it. You guys are enjoying the show. Yeah, let's see, both of these were the same combo. They had like 2 little worms on there and 1 little chunk of green knife, neon. So one was just to kind of fill up the hook and give it a little extra scent. And these smaller ones, they're free, so I ain't got to pay for them suckers. Now a little trick about these neons, folks, if you're using them, their scent is embedded into them. The scent doesn't come out unless they're hooked. Therefore, if you take that worm and you cut it up 2 or 3 times on the hook when you put it on there, you're tripling, sometimes even quadrupling the amount of scent you're putting out. Now, obviously, the scent's going to wear off quicker, but obviously for a spot like this, that these fish are in here actively feeding, and they're going to find your bait quick. better off with that super jolt of scent quickly rather than letting it sit out there for long periods of time. Like if you're fishing for blue cat, yeah, you put 2 or 3 of those big ones on there. Put it back. I'll get another one back out here too. Yeah, that buffalo was way out there deeper, so you can see we've got a mix of different species in different locations. These grass carp are in here really shallow down here right by the bank. And the drum and stuff, they're right like mid-range right here, and those buffalo are out there deeper. So but he was out there deeper in the back. So if you were fishing with a heavier line out there, it really wouldn't work. If you were fishing anything over about a half an ounce of weight, yeah, those sinkers would drop the dang line so quickly you couldn't get a hook in it. I mean, I just happened to be sitting on that rod and I saw that tip wobbling. I recognize that bite. There's only one species of fish that does that down here. If I would have been sitting on that rod, I wouldn't have seen that. Yeah, this doesn't need any more greenies, but this needs a few more smaller worms to fill her in. That looks pretty good. Another like quarter size gob of worms. About. Oh, you little stinker. Man. Up, 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 up. Hammered on it. I obviously got that one in the right place. That's good. Yeah, I'm actually fishing this one up the current a little bit, so that it goes down a little bit to the back part and it just stops right about straight out. This is all sand bank where I'm fishing now. About 7 or 8 feet out, it's rock ledge. Past that, it goes through sand. So as long as you're past that little rock spot, you usually don't get snagged. Now you do get snagged on some people's snags, which is like frustrating, but it happens. It happens from time to time. Nothing you can really do about it. 15, 20 pound braid is about as heavy as you want to go into these spots. If you go any heavier than that, you're not going to really do any good because those rocks are going to tear that 20 pound braid up anyway. And anything over 20 pound monofilament, you're not going to cast. That's back. Get back to chat, folks. I am. I felt them pecking on it again. Amazing what you can do with just a container of little worms you dug from right behind your house. And we backed off of our live stream. Oops. Here we are. I think that's us. Nope, that's a previous live stream. How'd I get there? Dang. Seriously? And there we are, folks. We're back. So, hello, edit. Let's see, edit, then let's see. Top waters, I use the pumpkin mats and the veggies have. Yeah, oddly, you'd be surprised. I get some big grass carp during the summer on top waters down here. Yeah, they'll hit chatterbaits, they'll hit like small buzz baits, they'll hit whopper ploppers, they'll hit hula poppers. Yeah, when it gets 85, 90 degrees, the rocks are out down here, they get really aggressive. You can run chatterbaits and whopper floppers down the shoreline and get some big grassies to hit top waters. That's amazing when a 15, 20 pound grass carp comes up and just obliterates a buzzbait. Let's see, Josh says, man, he's on fish today. Hey, sometimes they're hitting. Let's see, Josh says, my dad caught buffalo and decent sharks on the Marca back in 1970s. Yeah, they're a native species. They run all up and down these rivers, up into their tributaries, into the Missouri River, up those creeks, Merrimack River, the White River. Yeah, they're everywhere. Kind of interested. I would thought heavier. Like I thought. Let's see, Jighead, what's going on? How you doing, Jighead? Let's see, what's up, Pop? What's going on? How you doing? What's up, Pop? Says Mike. Josh says, what's up, Pop? Let's see, Sigio, what's going on? The Predator. Let's see, Harris, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Harris says hi. Josh says, hello, Sergio. Let's see, Josh says, yep, 88 likes, and yeah, we're getting near 100, folks. Can we break 100? We're getting close. 51 people in and 91 thumbs up. Josh says, interested. I got a lot of that tackle. I kid you not, I did a live stream last year where it was the evening, and I just started seeing some grass carp into the shallows, and I just got the idea. They've done this before. I wonder if they'll do it on stream. And yep, I put a whopper plopper on, and bam, bam, got 3 of them before I finally spooked them out, and it got too dark for me to see. Let's see, Josh says, mellowing was in Thailand, famous for the Mekong giant catfish. Yeah, where Danny lives, they have those big old Wells catfish. He's always talking about them 78-pound catfish. Them ain't nothing. Let's see, bone-colored whopper ploppers. Yep. I've got the cheaper brands because they really tear your ploppers to pieces. Because you can understand those ploppers aren't designed for like 7 or 8 pound bass at most. So a 20-pound grass carp piece just thrashing around, bending those hooks to pieces. Yeah, they don't last very good. I bought the cheap ones off of Amazon. They work for a couple of fish at least. I think I got 2 of them left in there. All right, folks. I had a cold recently, and I'm just still getting over it. I still got that fluid coming out of my lungs. Every once in a while, I gotta get it out. But it's clear. That's one thing I remember about having like a virus or a bug. When you're over it, as long as that stuff's staying clear, it'll dry up eventually. Your sinuses will clear up, and it's basically from the sinus infection that the goo is still making it down there. The green, if you get green or black, that means you're getting a lung infection. That's what you got to watch out for. It's just irritating that crap out of you.
lungs every once in a while. Yeah, I was off beat for about 4 or 5 days. I fell down to get it all, cleaned up and stitched up and everything on my left arm, and I caught a bug at the emergency room. I should have washed it off by myself. All they did was put saline on the sucker and wash it out real good. Nothing else. I could have done that myself. Should have, to be honest. Let's see, Wells catfish, I think yep, over 500 pounds. Danny's caught a few pretty good size too. Nothing wrong with that. I seen a lot of people catch fish. Yep, with them Timos. Oh, far rod.
Got him. Got him, folks. Got him. These guys fight out here. They really do. What we got this time? Another nice freshwater drum. 5, 6, 7. I believe this is our 8th so far. Come here, big guy. Yep, got him hooked right that time. Yeah, that's a solid 3. 3.5 pounds on that one. I don't know. Okay, you notice I was sitting over here on these rods and they stopped hitting until I walked over to you guys. Then they started hitting again. I got them right in the jaw. I gotta get that hook up. Go. 5, 6, 7, number 8. So 8 freshwater drum, a buffalo, and we've had 2 big grass carp up to the bank. Haven't broken into the double digits technically. I did have that one in a bear hole once, so I'm gonna count that one. The other one, I barely touched its head once, but yeah, that's about 2.5, 3 pounds. Yeah, that's about as long as my forearm. I'm about 6 feet tall, so these guys are pretty good size. Check him in here close, folks. That's a beautiful guy. Well, let me get a thumbnail for this one too. I haven't gotten a thumbnail yet. All right, buddy. What do you think? Yeah, about 2.5, 3 pounds. That's a nice, thick, and healthy one. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't have one. Oh, there's some. Yeah, I was popping it. So that worm off on me. Man, they are good at getting that bait off, aren't they? They really are. They can tear your worm to pieces, man. Back. About right. A little closer than I was when I got that buffalo, but not much. You guys notice I'm using the majority of like small white worms. So it's basically, I'm using like big night crawlers out here. It's just, I'm using one little piece of those night crawlers. And I'm using the little free garden variety worms to kind of fill up that hook. That way it seems like I've got a ton of bait on here, a ton of good bait, but I've just got one piece of a good one. Yeah, the wind's blowing about 15, 20 miles per hour about there now. Tighten up a little bit. Another barge across the river. That looks like that one's got equipment and stuff, like a backhoe and a crane, smaller crane. Not a big one. Yeah, they ship up stuff up and down this river all the time. A lot of very interesting stuff. Let's see, biggest I caught was 84 pounds. Let's see, Danny Yellow Well. The sailboat's selling by you a lot. Let's see, 58 people still on. Awesome, folks, and 92 thumbs up. Incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, Josh says, well, bud sickles. That big. Let's see, I'm not that tall. I'm 170. And it says 35 centimeters. Let's see, Jason, yep, train. And that thumbs up a big old barge up the river there. That's a big sucker. I gotta watch the signal on this one. Those big old iron barges can knock the signal out sometimes. It's like a gigantic chunk of iron the size of a building, moving at 20 miles per hour upriver. See, Josh says, knowing the Netherlands, you're probably 193 centimeters at least. Yeah, Danny's a pretty big guy. He's bigger than me. He dwarfs me by comparison. I seen him holding those monster cans, and it looks like he's holding like little 12-ounce cups. Just as here in St. Louis at the Arch Landing, we had the tugboat made into a McDonald's fast food place on the river. Yeah, the water's getting up pretty high. Those tugboats and all those far out again. Pretty good. After you pour all the little ones off. I think you throw all the little worms off. good. Stop right this. Good. That's it. I'm tired of tripping over through these one kind of rocks here. Gotta make a path. I forgot about that when you're fishing. When the water gets higher or lower, you gotta make a path through the rocks. I used to live Oakville. Yeah, I don't trust eating from the river. I don't mind eating some smaller fish from the river, but when they get over a certain size, I've cleaned them enough and I've eaten them enough and I've tasted them enough that I know anything over about 8 or 10 pounds, you're better off throwing back here in the river. The majority of them with 3 or 4 pounds is what I'll go. Between a pound and 3 or 4 pounds, and the rest of them go back in the river. Let's adjust this, Cascarkey, River, sure. Yep, mercury levels. It's not really the mercury in this river, it's more like the oil and the salt and the grind and the runoff from the city. We've got so much water coming down this river that you really don't have to worry about the mercury levels per se. This is true. Like, I think I kept one flathead last year, about 8 pounds. And I kept a number of drum in the like pound, 3 pound range. I've kept some white bass, kept a few channel catfish out of this river. Now, in the lakes up here, I've kept plenty of bluegill, trout, catfish, crappie. It's just, I do tend to shy away from keeping fish in this river, especially when they get bigger. These are just fun. You come down here to catch and, you know, fight with and tackle with and try to outwit these small-brained yet exceptionally intelligent fish. It says, I remember the flood of '93. Young child, we were sandbanging at the way into Pontoon Beach. Yep, I live up here, up on Grand and Broadway, so I could literally walk out my door and look down the hill, and I could see the river just steadily moving closer and closer towards Broadway. Now, it didn't make it up Broadway, but it did go up the sewers in a number of places and flood up sewers. And I remember I couldn't do anything with the river that year. I was fishing lakes primarily. I couldn't do anything with down here. I could get near it. I mean, it was flooded up way past the floodgates. You can still see the marks. It was way over this bridge. Those pillars, that was way up there. And we got another train coming in, folks. See, 47 people in. Awesome, folks, and 96 thumbs up. Incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm nearby from this spot. I just take my electric scooter about 8 or 10 minutes, to your right, to our right here, and go right up the hill here, and I'm home.
You know, I'm between O'Fallon and Fairgrounds Park. You know where O'Fallon and Fairgrounds Park is, so. O'Fallon, Fairgrounds Park, Jefferson Lake, Riverview, down here. They call this Granite City Sewer Canal, but it's not a sewer canal, it's a barge canal. There's no actual sewer canal. I mean, yeah, they do, car rod. Well, I can sit out with you guys. Sit out here for a few more minutes. I wanted to make sure everything was going good with the camera and everything. It looks like she's going pretty spectacular. How long am I leaving in? Ooh, bump the camera. Don't do that, Michael. We got a good angle. So last thing you want to do is mess up the camera. Got this. See, vaguely I know. There's nearby the high school and how I've been to school actually smell. I was cooking crab. That's what we are. That's my friend. Number 9. 9 freshwater drum, a buffalo, and we got 2 big grass carp up to the bank today. So yeah, that's like a little pound and a half. Pound and a half. Like he's a little on the thin side. I'll give him about a pound and a half on that one. All right, buddy. Get the guy in. Want that other rod so you don't go in. Right down to your crushers again, buddy. There we go. All bone that sucker had her in. That number 9 freshwater drum and a buffalo so far. And 2 big grass carp up to the bank. Right, buddy. See ya. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we pinch the barbs. The first thing I do when I get a thing of hooks is take a pair of pliers and pinch those barbs down quite a bit. You lose a few fish, but you also get those hooks out much easier. Oh, you little stinker. Man, that's not good.
I missed that one. Just to be safe. One red one. These spots to be more important than you think. Like if I was 2 feet to the left, I wouldn't be holding over here. If I was 2 feet to the right, I wouldn't be holding over here. I have to be setting in this one angle to be able to hit this spot and hold. Every back current is different from day to day. Okay. Alright, back. 41 people and 97 thumbs up's incredible. Fiorsa. Fiors. How you doing, Fiors? Thanks for coming in. Fiors says hi. Or Floris. I gotta check it. Yeah. Floricia. How you doing, Floris? Says, you've got a lot of success. I definitely have had a good day today. The call. A call's the call. How you doing, my friend? Hi. English if you can. If you can't, emojis are fine, my friend. Joshua says, hello, Hakal. Oh, welcome. Josh says, hello, hello. Corey, welcome. If you're coming into the channel, this is St. Louis, Missouri. We're on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River. 36 people still in it, seeing 98 thumbs up. Just 2 more to break the 100. part of that hook. I try to cover this worm hook as much as I can. I just need taking your time and looking at those small worms on there. A couple of spots. Cover it up real good. Like that one. That settles. Now the water's about 10 to 15 feet deep out here. It's not super deep. Then again, it's not super shallow either. Kind of like in between. Now this sandbar out here, this is the perfect spot for these guys to kind of migrate up and down river if they want to. This is a good place to run up and down. Yeah. Yeah. Whack. Alrighty, just about lost the rod today. That last grass carp had her over the rock, and I kind of scraped up my arm a little bit getting it back. $37 people and 99 thumbs up. Incredible. Let's see, Rue, what's going on? How you doing, Rue? Rue is MBPFishing. How you doing today, buddy? Rue with the fire of the fish catching emoji. Justice, hello, Rude. Welcome. Justice, hello, Rude. Justice, maybe I should try to get hired as a Walmart greeter. Hey, if that's what you love doing. I've done a meet and greet thing. It's good for about 6 months, and then it really starts to get on you. Rude says, hi, job. The heart emoji. Ah, man, that's hard. Not on there already. He was too. The line kept going more and more slack. I wondered why. That fish grabbed and was running in with it again. You notice me just kept trying to tighten up the line. I just kept trying to feel the weight. And by the time I got to the weight, I felt the pull once. And yeah, that was it. Too late now, Michael. I like that cast plate right there. See if I can get it right back in the place. About it, too. Then about an inch or two. Okay, that rod pecked hard once, right? And I picked it up and I didn't feel anything, but at the same time the line was slack. So I kept trying to tighten up the line to see where the line was. And I finally got to it, I felt it go, Yeah, she was running in with it again. I've been doing that all day today. Good. Good so far, folks. Yeah, I'm a people person. Well, I need some sort of job right now. I got you, my friend. They're always hiring. Josh says, I'll take anything, honestly. Well, good luck, my friend. I know how it feels. I'm on Social Security disability, so this is kind of like a few extra dollars I make on YouTube is just enough to pay that extra bill and get a good meal in my belly. I surely definitely do know what you feel, Josh. Pop, pop, pop. Got him. Come on, folks. That's actually a smaller fish. What we got? Got the other rod too. Here. What do we got? Yeah, that's our. Hey, a blue cat. Hi, buddy. I thought you guys had gone away for a while. That's a little kitten. Little meow meow. And please don't open up my hand. That's about a half pound. That's our third species of the day. Well, 4 if you count the grass carp I missed. Yeah, that's a cute little kitten, guys. I thought that was a little bit smaller. A little bit. Cute little kitten. Meow meow. Meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Ah! Come back here, little stinker. I don't want a snake to get you. Come back here. Come on. Open up. Yeah, he's even held him out once. He don't want to do it no more. He don't want to do it no more. Cool little guy, folks. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was getting the other one. Something was popping this one too over here. Might start me getting time for the blues to come in now. I usually do midday, so you guys can imagine the majority of fish I catch are buffalo and common carp, drum, channel, flathead. Flathead are actually, they feed a lot more during the day than people think. If their food is out during the day, yeah, they're gonna be out during the day. Really messed up that time. Bounced it, felt good, and I cast it. You know I'm gonna have to put another worm on there. Cast it off. Now, folks, let me get back to Chad here in just a second. You guys are enjoying the show. Just one more. It was fine. So I tried to cap it and I felt it go. That's a good cast again. Another rod back out too. That's our first actual small fish today. Got him, folks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Man, that was just doubling it. Yikes. I think I just got something massive, folks. Oh boy. Come on, fish. Turn. That a girl. Come on. Keep moving in. That just doubled it. It's like a big flatty, just doubled it nice and slow. What have I got, folks? Shaking his head. Indeed. Whoa, whoa, buddy. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Come on, girl. Yeah, just setting on the bottom. Oh, yeah. Hard for us to deny if this ain't a flathead catfish, folks. Because that fish is just sitting on the bottom. That's a big one, too. Because I ain't moving this fish much at all. Oh, the rod all the way fast. I'm shaking, folks. I haven't gotten a flathead over 4 or 5 pounds down here in a while. I ain't seen her yet, but that fish is just sitting on the bottom. Look at that dead weight. That fish took off too when I set the hook. Yeah, she ain't done yet. Popped off. Nah. Line snapped. Hook snapped off. Yeah, it snapped off right at the hook too. It wasn't my ties. I guarantee you that was a flathead catfish. The way that fish was just sitting on the bottom. I should have taken time to retie these leads. Yeah, you can see that hook just slipped off. So that line didn't even snap. That hook just slipped off. Took so much force to turn that. Now one good thing about that is that fish has just got a hook in his mouth. He doesn't even have any line on it. So that hook will rust away in a week. Another heartbreaking loss. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like having hooks in bags. They sell you in these bait shops, they sell you in like bags of 6 and 8, and guess what happened? They blew out of the box. So they could be anywhere now. They could be in the river now. Man, that was a flathead for sure. The way that fish was just sitting on the bottom. A buddy of mine just bought me a bag of hooks. And the problem with it is these bags, you get 8 or 10 mile per hour winds, the bags blow away on you. Now you put them in the bottom of your box, and guess what? Yeah, they're lost in there for months. See, the wind is blowing like this, so let me see if they come out. Yep, there's they are right there. I got lucky. See, they blew right out of the box. And there's just 2 hooks left in here, right? But those 2 hooks is not enough weight to hold bag, so the bag blows away. And I put this in my bag, it's just gonna fall out. So it's just garbage no matter what I do. Yeah, that was a flathead. I'm gonna go 15, 20 pounds on that one. I mean, the line didn't snap, it slipped. It slipped right off the hook. Because the line is all curled up. Probably not going to be able to tie another leader at this point. It's just been an off day today, folks. Bring this up as close as I can. Yeah, that thing, it didn't even break the line. The hook slipped right off. That's nothing wrong with my gear. That was just a slow pull, just like a big flatty. No doubt what that fish was. And I just about had her beat too. I had her right to the bank too, right before I would have seen her. That would have been a great way to end the feed. It really, really would have. Man. I think I tied that hook perfectly. It's just when those drum keep swallowing my hooks, and I keep retying hook after hook after hook, eventually I'm going to get a hook that's not tied properly. And see, I didn't tie that right. Because I'm running out of leader on this thing. I can't retie a leader every time I hook a fish down here and have one of those drums swallow my hook, because if I did that, I'd be down here like 5 minutes. 5 minutes of fishing time, because it takes me about 8 minutes to tie a new leader on. That's why I like my bread wrapper technique. So much easier to retie a leader on. You just slide the bread wrapper up the line and tie a hook. And that was a heartbreaking one, folks. That was definitely a flathead. I had her right up to the edge of the rocks here. The line didn't break, folks. It slid right off. I mean, that line actually just monofilament slid. Rat. Now I'm out of my little one, because my little one flew away. All I've got are these bigger ones left. And these bigger hooks don't hold the smaller worms. Let me see if I can get one more fish on for you guys. That would have been a heck of a way to end the feed. Really would have. Man. I'll get these rods back out and I'll come talk to you guys. That is just heartbreaking. It really is. That was definitely a big flathead catfish. Had him right up to the bank. Had him right before I was about ready to see him. And the knot splits. Just heartbreaking. Because there's no difference between that and flathead catfish, grass carp. The grass carp's shaking its head every 3 seconds. That fish was just set straight on the bottom. flathead down here this year over about 5 pounds. That would have been my first. This is probably the 8th or 10th hook I've tied on today. But it just happened to have been on that one bad hook top. Light already. Total different bites on that one. See how it was pop, 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 pop? That one bite was just right down to the water. Off my little worm tonight. Actually kind of glad I was sitting on that rod, because if I hadn't been sitting on that rod would have gotten pulled in. That flathead was just doubling it. Yeah, that was just heartbreaking, folks. That really was. Takes a lot to get to me, but that's 3 big ones I've missed today. Man. Yeah, we broke the 100 barrier, folks. Awesome. 45 people still in and 103 thumbs up. Let's see, Zyro, what's going on? How you doing, Zyro? That was a big flathead catfish, folks. And that line didn't break, the hook just slipped. Obviously, I didn't tie it right. I've had like 4 drums swallow the hook, and I've had 2 grass carp break off today, so eventually I got one hook that wasn't tied on exactly right. See, Zyro says hi. And see, Ruben is in. How you doing, Ruben? Yeah, Ruben says got him. Yeah, that is just heartbreaking, folks. I just want to cry after that one. Man. Takes a lot to bum me out, but that one did. I'm gonna miss that fish. I would have loved to have just been able to see her. But that's one thing. At least those 2 grass carp, I got to see them. I got them up to the bank. I got to touch them. Man, that flatty, I just didn't even get to see. That was definitely a flathead too. The way that fish was just sat flat on the bottom. He didn't want to get up. Either that or 150-pound, what do you call it, a soft-shell turtle. Those are the only 2 species of fish that fight like that down here on this river. Soft shells will sit on the bottom like that too. That definitely was no soft shell. Let's see, hello, Ruben. See, Zyro says Josh. Let's see, Zyro says yo, Josh. Let's see, Zyro says yo, MVP. Yep, 100 likes, Zyro. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mike, have fun and be safe. Yeah, 52 people in, incredible, folks, and 106 thumbs up. Yeah, we've gotten beat today. We really have. I mean, we did catch 9 big freshwater drum, a real nice buffalo. Had 2 big grass carp up to the bank, but man, that last flathead just, ooh, yeah, that one was just a heartbreaker. Yeah, that one hurt.
checking my messages and everything. Looks like we're doing good. Let's see, Pro, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Josh says, take it easy, Chris. Nah. Yep. Have a great night, Chris. And thanks for coming in, buddy. See, George says, way cool, Josh. Well, I miss a lot here in chat. Let's see, Southern Fry, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Southern Fry says, hello, Mike. How you doing, my friend? Let's see, we caught 9 big freshwater drum, a buffalo, had 2 big grass carp up to the bank. Now we had that on our super light gear, so we missed those. And we had 1 big flathead, I'm sure that was a flathead, right up to the bank. I mean, he couldn't have been 6 feet from me before that hook just slipped. Josh says, you get him next time, MBP. Oh, well, no worries. Thank you, buddy. I needed that. I definitely needed that. I only get about 7 or 8 of those big flatheads down here a year. I get more blue cat down here than flathead. Lord knows, if you put enough big night crawlers in the water in the spot, you're going to get something big in here. One of these big old catfish. Thought that was weird why that pulled off. It didn't pull off, the hook just slipped off. Yeah, I was just mentioning about how flathead don't have to hit at night. Their food's out here, they're gonna be out here, and I got one big one hook.
Yeah, I think that flathead might have really spooked these guys too. When you hook a big one and you miss them, a lot of times it'll spook them. In fact, the majority of the time, those first two grass carp really spooked this spot. See, Josh says, honestly, speaking, it's not real fishing. Yep. If you don't lose one, now lose two and you're getting a little perturbed, and lose three. I don't mind losing them. It's just when I don't get to see them. If I'd have just saw that back tail on that fish, I'd have been fine because I'd have known what it was. It happens. You're right. It definitely happens. There's not really much you can do about it. See, Josh, yep. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Disappointed that you guys don't get to enjoy a big old flathead catfish. Now, how many fish I've missed over the years? That's one of the reasons why I got better at landing them, because to share them off with you guys. That was a hard fight. It was an incredible fight. The way that fish took off upriver and just kept on going and going and going and going. And then I finally turned her and I started working her back. And then she ran out one more time. And then she come in here to the, down here to the left of me and just kind of sat on that bottom like, I'm not moving, I'm done. Just like a big old flatty would do, like, I'm done. You're going to have to pull my butt off the bottom. Textbook flathead catfish fight, too. Couple good runs, and then she'll just sit on that bottom. I had a 50-pounder last year down here in the sand in the lower water. That fish, after I got her up once, she literally sat on the bottom, and I had to grab the line and pull the line to get her head off the bottom. She's just sitting there. She wouldn't move. And if I remember correctly, I threw a rock in a couple times to get her to move because she wouldn't move. It was fun. I mean, if I'd have been down here by myself, I mean, like, oh well. I know what it was. Ain't no grass carp fights like that. And a common carp would have been running up and back and forth down this shoreline nonstop. And the same thing with a big striper. He'd have been running. A blue would have just taken off back and forth, and just kept on running around. And it's okay. Could have been worse. At least I got to feel the tug of the pole. I'm not sure what that is about, but Mahad says okay. Mahad says, how you doing, Mahad? Yeah, I'm 58, so. I said, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Kind of disappointed I missed her, and I didn't get to show her off to you guys. Definitely disappointed I didn't get to see her come up. Robert says, Danny thinks I was gonna give him a warning first. I don't know what I said. Let's see, Josh says, this should be a good, safe place for everyone. Yep, definitely. Radio, what's going on? How you doing, Radio? Okay, so wow, look at that big bridge. Looks like a railroad bridge, maybe. Hey, where are you fishing? And greetings from Cincinnati.
Awesome, my friend. This is St. Louis, Missouri. We're on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River. That's a bite. Gotta go.
Got him. Got him, folks. He's on. We're on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River. And hopefully I got that hook tied on good. Here comes the train, folks. Totally different fight. This one's shaking its head. We're down here now, folks. Another nice big cod. Alright. Good guy. Give it up. Give it up. There we go, folks. Yeah, that's an excellent master pounder. Alright, folks. I don't know about you, but I think it's always a great idea to end a fishing trip on a fish. Yep. That's another nice little 3-pounder. That's our 10th of the day. So 10 nice drum. We've also caught one nice buffalo carp. We had 2 big grass carp up to the bank. And man, I missed that flathead. That was definitely a flathead catfish. But hope you guys enjoyed the show, my friends. Yep, like I was saying, we're on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Yep, that gorgeous way to end the fade, folks. Just absolutely wonderful. Oh, yep. Ow, 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 ow. All right, buddy. Jeez, dude. Man, these guys don't like to quit, do they? See, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I'm just going to add my good luck. Stay safe. Hope to see you on the water, my friends. Keep doing what you love. Keep them lines tight. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your Monday. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.